Gemini, the third sign of the zodiac, the first air sign of the zodiac, and the social butterfly, the chatty Cathy, the loves to talk with you or by themselves, no problem. You know when you're talking to a Gemini, because the amount of Googleable information and like facts and fun, like ooh, interesting, ooh, let me look this up real quick, like that's Gemini in action, right? So you know when you're talking to a Gemini, because they're gonna be like, oh, me too, ooh, what about this, like there's so much like excitement, at times like just jumping from one topic to the next so quickly. Yeah, anything that you can Google. So Gemini, the third sign of the zodiac. The third house in the zodiac is Gemini's house, and it represents our local community and our extended family. So not only our nuclear family, which is more of the fourth house with Cancer that I'll get into in the next video, but more so with like the family that doesn't necessarily live in the same house as you. So cousins, aunts, uncles, grandparents, and then neighbors are also associated with this sign and this house, your local community. And it also is the information seeker and the Googler. So either if you're Googling lots of interesting things, you either have Gemini really strong in your chart, or you are with a Gemini talking about lots of things, or you're just feeling really, really stimulated in that fun, light, mind expanding, not the same as the same axis that it shares with Sagittarius. Sagittarius is on the other end, and like in the Sagittarius video, we talk about how Sagittarius really expands, and it is that the house that rules higher education and distance travel, so foreign things that are just much bigger and farther away, and that you can study for, of course, but there's a lot of experiential learning on that end of the axis. With this end of the axis here in Gemini, it is very much more about short, local, easy to digest information, easy things to learn in a day. Like when you go to grad school, you don't just like go for a day and you get your graduate degree. That would be Sagittarius realm and territory. Whereas Gemini realm and territory is, what new thing did I learn today? You know, shorter, localized, easy to get in your head. So that's why I joke that like sometimes Geminis are just like over there talking to themselves, because they're like, you know, they're Googling things, or they're constantly having one earbud in, and they're just, you think they're talking to themselves, and you look over and they're like, oh, they're actually on a phone call. Like they love communicating. And so with the other air signs, whereas, you know, Aquarius is the air sign giving communication to the group, and that's the main goal. And Libra is you and me, let's communicate. I want to know everything about you, how you're feeling, how your day was, and vice versa. And we're together in this and we're equal. Gemini is the communicator with self. And yes, with others, but like really like, how does this mind take in info and get tickled by info and then like move on to that next little fluttery? Again, social butterfly. So it's like every flower this butterfly lands on is like a Googleable topic, and it sips the nectar and goes, cool, and then flies off and then goes and lands in another one. It's like, ooh. So there's that kind of like, ooh, ooh, oh, hmm. You can get caught in your mind with Gemini, okay? Now, I know a lot of people, there's a lot of like two-faced Gemini stuff, and every sign has an illuminated and a shadow side people. So every sign can be two-faced. So I don't buy into the whole like Gemini's two-faced kind of thing. But I'm biased there. I have a father who's a Gemini, and he's got a Capricorn rising and a Taurus moon. So he's got a lot of like consistency in his Gemini-ness. But I must say, I have actually noticed that I'll get a sense of two-facedness a little bit more frequently with a Gemini rising. Not so much with a Gemini sun sign. Sometimes with a Gemini moon, but not really even there. But definitely when I meet someone and then after a while I'm interacting with them and then I read their chart and I go, oh, you're a Gemini rising. Oh. And then I think back to the people that I've met with Gemini risings and our interactions and how they end up. And those are the only times that like I pick up on that kind of energy with the Gemini and the two-faced. And again, if you have a Gemini rising, I'm not calling you two-faced. We all have different sides to ourselves. But I don't pick up on it with the sun sign. I just wanted to kind of talk about that misnomer because I've felt like it's you know, it's the same thing as saying like an Aries is always angry and egotistical. Like they're not. Or like a Pisces is always crying in the corner. Like they're not, you know, like, or Capricorn is only about business and being a CEO and a, you know, boss, whatever, and they don't care about anything else. Like not true, right? So I had to talk about that two-faced misnomer. Gemini, we love them.